Right. So this is the 6th lecture, Unit 7. You find it on page 44. Right. Title for this unit: the hard sell. Right. The hard sell in English, which means the techniques that we use for sale or for selling. Right. Techniques that we follow, like having advertisements and so on newspapers, on TV and so on. That's what we call nowadays the hard sell. Right? So Unit 7, the hard sell. Hard sell here means techniques for selling. Right. Vocabulary. We start one of the techniques when we want to sell: advertising. Number 1, label the photos here with words from the phrase bank. Phrase bank here. We use these words and expressions to complete exercises in this page. So we look at these photos. They are what we call techniques for selling that we may follow before we sell, and what we call them, these techniques in these photos. Now, as we have done before I give you the correct and model answers, you switch off the video, you try to work on your own yourself, and then you check your answers, and then you watch the video again. Now switch off the video, switch it off. Number 1, we call this logo. It's here, you find it here, logo. Number 2, we call this kind of techniques that we use behind this man and also on his clothes. We call this kind of techniques sponsor. Right. Right. Number 3, here we call this kind of technique or techniques, we call it slogan. Right. Slogan, you find it here. Right. Exercise 2. Now match words from the phrase bank here with definitions here. The definitions here are what we call techniques. Techniques that we use when we want to sell. What do we call each kind of a technique here? Right? What do we call it? You find it here. Now, right, as we have done before, switch off the video, you read the definition, and you look for the word that is related to the definition. Now, switch off the video, work on your own. After you finish, you switch on the video and watch and check. Right? Switch off. Number 1, an online advert or advertising. An online advert that suddenly appears when your cursor, let's say the cursor means this one, which moves from the mouse. Your cursor moves over part of a website. What do we call this kind of a technique? We call it pop-up. So, what's a pop-up? It's an online advert that suddenly appears when your cursor moves over part of a website. 2, small adverts or advertisements. Right? Advert, it's advertisement. American English, we say advertisement. British English, advertisement. So we say advertisement or advert. So small adverts in the final pages of a newspaper. What do we call that? We call it in English classified ad. It's here, classified ad, here, or ads. 3, a group or adverts that are broadcast between scheduled programs. What do we call that? We call them commercials. Commercials, you find it here. Here. So commercials or a group of adverts or advertisement. Right. 4, the name of a company that sells or makes a product. We call that broad name. Right. It's here. Brand name, sorry, not a broad. Sorry, brand name. Brand name. So what's a brand name? It's the name of a company that sells or makes a product. 3, find synonyms. Synonyms means the same. Find synonyms in the phrase bank for the words below. So these 4 words, I want you to give me the same meaning for these words. Now, before I give you the correct answer, switch off the video and try to read and work and look here. You find the answer in the phrase bank. Switch off the video, Right, let me start. Buyer, another meaning for the same word, buyer, consumer. It's here, consumer, right. Goods, same meaning, products. Commercial, same meaning, advertisement. American English, they pronounce it advertisement. Selling, same meaning, promotion. Number 4, read the article here about how advertising works. Then match a word in bold here, right, to the definitions here. So first we read, and then we read the definition and look for one of these words in the article. Now first let me read the article for you. Global Games announced the launch of its latest product for the teenage market today, an interactive computer game. To promote their product, the company contracted an advertising agency to plan a 12-month campaign of advertisements on hoardings in every major city. Thousands of posters at bus stops and millions of flyers to be given out to teenagers. Now, before I give you the answers, you read the definition and you choose one of these words. Now, before I give you the correct answers, switch off the video, work on your own, yourself, read and find one of these words. Right? Switch off the video. Okay, number 1. A company whose work is to design the promotion of products. So this company, we call it advertising agency. We write it here. 2. A group of actions designed to promote a product. That's what you call campaign. Campaign. It's here. 3. Large advertisements often seen at the side of a busy road. We call that hoarding or hoardings. 4. Medium-sized paper-based advertisements. Right, we call that poster. Right, poster. What is it? Poster. It's here. 5. A group of people who might want to buy something. Market. 6. Printed adverts given directly to members of the public. We call that flyers. 7. The start of the promotion of a new product. We call that, in English, launch. Launch means the start. Number 5. Complete this table of word families. Now, for each word, we can have a verb, we can have noun for a person, and we can have noun for something. For a lot of verbs or words in English. Now, if we say the verb is to consume, the noun as a person, consumer. What's the noun again but for something? Now, before I give you the correct answer, switch off the video and work on your own. You may check a dictionary, right? Switch off the video. Now, to consume, a consumer is a person. Noun again, but something here. We call that consumption. Right, here we have the noun for something, which is advertisement. What's the noun? Now, again, noun but for a person. It's advertiser with ER. The adverb, to advertise. And here now we have what? We have noun as a person, promoter with ER. What's the verb? The verb is to promote. Promote. What's the noun as noun for something? Promotion. Promotion. Right. Here we have noun for something, production. The verb, produce with CE. Noun as a person, producer with ER. Now, verb, sponsor with OR. Noun for a person, sponsor with ER. Noun for something, sponsorship. Sponsorship, right? Don't forget, here, sponsor with ER. The person, right? Sponsor, ER. But here, sponsor as a verb with OR. Right, next page. Speaking, discussing adverts or advertisements. 1, we have a CD. Read 1 to 5 here, sentences below. Then listen to 5 conversations. I want you to number the descriptions in the order in which you hear them. Now, which one we hear first for these sentences on the CD, you give it 1. Which we hear the second on the CD, we give it 2. Before you do this exercise, first switch off the video and read sentences. Read them and then put numbers in the order you hear them. Right? For example, 2 people discussing a promotion on a web page. Now this one, we hear it first on a CD or second or third or fourth, you give it the number here on your sheet. So take your sheet in your hand, take your pen, listen and work, right? Work on your sheet. Okay? Now, let's listen. Listen to the CD. Listen.
Unit 7, Speaking, Exercises 1 and 2. Extract 1. Have you seen that new car advert?
Which one?
The one with the robots. I think it's really cool.
Oh yeah, the one with the slogan, designed by artists, built by robots, driven by you. But what car's it for?
What?
What's the make of the car?
Oh, no idea, but I like the ad. Extract 2.
Modern life is stressful for all of us. We're always on the go, never seem to stop. That's why I make sure my family boosts their defenses with new Act Flora, the probiotic drink that protects your body from the inside. Don't delay, use Act Flora today.
Extract 3.
Okay, so Lizzie, you're looking at the campaign for magazines and posters. Now, Craig, what about the jingle?
Well, the company wants to get across the idea of being able to have a cup of tea coffee whenever you want. So I was wondering about something like, your time, my time, any time is tea coffee time.
Okay, well, that's a start. Maybe we could make it sound a little more modern?
Extract 4. A good logo has 3 principal characteristics. Firstly, it must be easy to remember. Second, it must work equally well in black and white or colour. Finally, it must work on both a large scale, so that it looks good full size on an enormous hoarding, or small on office paper, pens, etc. If you look at the screen, you'll see a classic logo I'm sure you all know, for the Open University. A very simple design incorporating the 2 initials O and U. Extract 5.
Okay, so I think we can promote the new courses on the home page by putting a banner across the top of the screen. Something nice and eye-catching.
Right. Maybe in a different colour to the rest, and maybe a pop-up?
Yeah, okay, with a link to the page with course information.
Right. Now, before I give you the correct answers, you switch off the video, you try to work on your own, listen once, twice, 3 times, and work and write numbers. Right, I'm going to give you the correct answers, switch off the video. Now, 1. 2 people discussing a promotion on a web page. Number 5, the last one. 2 people talking about a TV advertisement. This is number 1, it was the first. 3, a group of people who work in an advertising agency. This is number 3. 4, a commercial for a health supplement. This is number 2, the second one. 5, a university lecture on advertising. This is 4. Right? Now, you listen again to the same video, right? And then answer these questions. Right? So before you listen again, what you do? You read the questions. Can you complete the slogan? Designed by artists, built by robots. What did the CD say here? You complete, you write. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright? Before you listen again, switch off the video first, because I'm going to give you the correct answers. But before you listen to me, you try to write. Listen again to the video, and then stop it, and write. Complete. Right? I'm going to give you the correct answers. Switch off the video. Switch off. Okay, 1. Can you complete the slogan? Designed by artists, built by robots, driven by you. 2. What's the name of the health supplement or health product? Act Flora. 3. What needs to be done to improve the jingle? Needs to sound more modern. Needs to sound more modern. Right? 4. What is the most important characteristic of a good logo? Here, it must be easy to remember. 5. What 2 types of advertising from page 44, page 44, previous page actually, is the agency going to use? Right? 2 types of advertising that this agency is going to use. 2 types of advertising: banner and pop-up. Right? Exercise 3. Write synonyms. Synonyms means the same. From the phrase bank, here, phrase bank, for each of the criteria for a good advert, for a good advertisement. Right. They say on a CD, a good advert. Now, 1, communicates a message. What does it mean, communicates a message? You find it here. Right. Before I give you the correct answers, switch off the video, right? Work on your own, read here, and try to get the same meaning from here. Switch off the video. Right. 1, communicates a message. It means gets an idea across. Gets an idea across. 2, has music or a song that sticks in the memory. Here, is catchy. Is catchy. Is catchy. Right. 3, persuades existing consumers to continue using the product. Here, encourages brand loyalty. Encourages brand loyalty. 4, causes a strong effect on customers. Sorry. Makes an impact. Makes an impact. 5, familiarizes people with a product. Raises brand awareness. Raises brand awareness. 4, work with a partner. Complete the sentences below using your own idea. Work in pairs to practice the dialogue. Now, a dialogue here. You try to read and you try to create a dialogue. You, for example, A, and your colleague is B. You try to invent a dialogue and you complete it with your own words. And when you think it's a good conversation, meaningful, you ask your friend to be person B and you person A, and phone each other using Viber. Ask and your friend answers. Right? Record yourself speaking and playing this dialogue. After you finish, check it. If you like it, send it to your colleagues. Right? All right. What else here? Let's read this. Pronunciation. This sound in phonetics, O, and this sound O. All right. A. Listen to the CD, to the words, and note O and O sounds. Zone, song. Right? Listen to the CD and how they pronounce it. Listen.
Unit 7. Pronunciation. Exercise A.
Zone. Song.
Right. Sentence B or section B. Say the words, underline the sounds O and O sounds. Here. Right? Listen to a native speaker and follow. And repeat.
Unit 7. Pronunciation. Exercise C. Radio. Slogan. Logo. Login. Pop-up. Poster.
Next page. Listening, advertising and health. 1. Read quotations 1 and 2. Here, this 1 and 2. From the book, this book, Fast Food Nation. Match them to A and B below. You read and you choose a title for each one of these two. Title A potential opportunity, or title B, a wasted opportunity. Let's read. 1. Children spend about 7 hours a day, 150 days a year in school. Those hours have in the past been largely free of advertising. 2. 8-year-olds are considered ideal customers. They have about 65 years of purchasing ahead of them. What can we say about each one of these two? Right? The first one, we can say about the first one, a wasted opportunity. Here, a wasted opportunity. And this one, when we read it, we can say a potential opportunity. Right? A wasted opportunity means lost. But a potential opportunity, a potential means here, maybe we can get it. We can use it. Right? Right. 2. What do you think the listening is going to be about? Now, after we finish reading this, try to guess. We are going to listen about what? Diet in modern society, or what the children do at school, or the frustrations of marketing executives, or the financing of education in the US. Try to guess. Pick one of these or two. Right? Now 3, we have a CD. Listen to the radio program. Check your answers to this question. To 2. Then decide if the statements below here are true or false. Correct the false sentences. So let's say about the next exercise here, about these sentences, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now before we listen, what we do? We read sentences. We read, trying to understand, and then we listen. After we listen, we read again and say true or false, right? So switch off the video now and read sentences. And then prepare yourself and then listen to the video, right? Switch off and read. Now listening.
Unit 7. Listening. Exercise 3.
One of the most controversial innovations in American advertising in recent years was the introduction of advertising campaigns in U.S. schools. The idea was first used in Colorado in the 1990s and has been a focus for argument and controversy ever since. Of course, it all started for a very important reason: money. The school board in District 11 was facing a severe financial crisis. The number of children in school had risen, but they couldn't generate enough money from taxation to pay for education. Something had to be done. Working with the help of a professional in marketing, the school administrators negotiated contracts with major companies to advertise on school buses, in sports stadiums, and inside the schools themselves. The benefits are obvious. Those in favor of the project point to the money that was generated to improve schools, sponsor reading programs, build resource centers, and so on. There's no doubt that school facilities have improved. However, some people say the price has been too high. Critics argue that placing advertising in schools where parents can't control it is exploiting children. Supporters of the scheme say that children nowadays are exposed to advertising all day anyway. But opponents point out that parents can at least turn off TV commercials. In school, there is no off button, and children are obliged to attend school and then forced to look at advertisements as a means of paying for their free education. But a more major area of concern is the type of products being advertised. The vast majority of school sponsors are producers of hamburgers, pizzas, and fizzy drinks. There are very real fears that saving school finances on the one hand is having a devastating effect on children's health on the other. The USA is a country where obesity is a major health problem and a significant cause of illness in adult life. Is it right to increase the influence of fast food producers by letting them play a major part in school life? Many people feel it is not.
Right. Now, before I give you the correct answers, you switch off the video, you check your answers again and listen once, twice, 3 times, and then write true or you write false, and after you write false, try to correct your mistakes, right? Now what you do is switch off the video because I'm going to give the correct answers. Switch off the video. 1. The listening explains how advertising became a part of U.S. school life as a way of increasing choice for school children. False. Right? Choice for increasing choice for money, not for school children, for money. Right. 2. Right. 2. Parents were involved in the negotiations with advertisers. Wrong. False also. So this one false, this one false. This one false. Why? School administrators, not with not parents. Right? School administrators were involved in the negotiations with advertisers. Right? Not parents, but school administrators. Right. 3. The adverts were shown on school buses, in sports groups and in the school also. Right. True. 4. A large percentage of advertising in schools is for junk food. True. 5. Critics worry that the advertising campaigns could have dangerous long-term consequences for students. True. Number 4. Work in pairs to answer the questions, then check your answers with another pair. Right, so what you do now, you read these questions and try to prepare your answers here, right? And then what you do, you read the question, you read the answer and send it to your colleagues to give you a review, right? And the last one is, do you think advertising in schools is a good idea? You discuss it with your colleagues, right? The same. What do you think? Your opinion about advertising in schools in Libya, for example, putting a poster for something inside the school. And students, every day, they look at the advertisement, right? Do you think it's a good idea? You write about it here, and then you read about it, and you record yourself reading and send it to your colleagues. Right? Next. Functional language. Pros and cons. What do we mean by pros and cons? Right. We mean duties, right? Duties, right? That you should do for others, and what what you should get after that, right? We can say pros is advantages, cons, duties for you should do, and something like that. 1. Read the words and expressions in the phrase bank here, right? Find examples to complete post-it notes, 1, 2, 3, right? So you read and try to complete. After you read this, you try to complete with the same from here, from the phrase bank. 2, you read and complete. 1, 2, 3, 4. You write 4 notes here, and then you read number 3, and you complete here. Right? Right. Number 1. 2 phrases. We want 2 phrases. Use it in the opening sentence of discussion to indicate that there are different opinions. Right? You write 2 phrases here from phrase bank. 2. 4 phrases here. Use it to talk about the positive aspects. Use it to talk about the positive aspects of this scheme. Right? 4 phrases here. You take them from here. 3. 4 phrases. Use it to talk about problems associated with this scheme. Also 4 phrases. You write them here. Right. Now, before I give you the correct answers, you read yourself, you check the phrase bank here, you take your pen and write in your sheet the answers. Right? Now, switch off the video, you read, and what they want here to write, you find the answer here. You write it. Okay? Read, and check the answers here. Okay? Now, switch off the video, switch it off. I'm going to give you the correct answers. Switch off. Right. 2 phrases here. We write here. To indicate that there are different opinions from the phrase bank. Right? The first one is this one. One of the most controversial. Right? One of the most controversial innovations in recent years was... Okay. Another phrase. Right? Another phrase. Here. You say something and then you say, has been a focus for argument and controversy for some time. Right? Okay. Now, number 2. 4 phrases here. 4 phrases for number 2. Right. The first one, those in favor of the project. This is the first one. All right. The other one, supporters of the scheme say. All right. Another one, the benefits are obvious. All right. The last one, there is no doubt that facilities have improved. All right. Okay. Number 3, 4 phrases. The first one, but a more major area of concern is, right. The other one, but opponents point out that, all right. Another one, there are very real fears that, so. Another one, critics argue that, all right. These are 4. Right. Check your answers. Number 2, listening. Listen to a speech discussing the pros and cons of product placement advertising. The question, answer these questions. 1, 2, 3. Now, before we listen, you read the questions. What are the arguments in favor of product? What are the arguments against product placement? And what's the speaker's opinion? So you read, you understand, and then you go and listen. Right? Listen and take your pen and write in your sheet. Right? Listen.
Unit 7. Functional Language. Exercise 2. One of the most subtle forms of advertising is product placement in films. This is where filmmakers include close-ups of a sponsor's products in the films they make. Supporters of product placement argue that in our normal life we are surrounded by commercial products, so there shouldn't be any problem with seeing these on the big screen. The benefits are obvious. Product placement helps pay for the costs of making a film. However, critics argue that this is an insidious kind of advertising that we cannot choose to ignore. Do you go to the cinema to be treated like a consumer? I certainly do not.
Right. Okay. Right. Now, after you have finished listening, try to check your answers. You may listen again, once, twice, 3 times. Okay. Okay, I'm going to give you the correct answers. Now, switch off the video. Switch off. Now, what are the arguments in favor of product placement? The pros. Right. We can say it helps for pay for the costs. Right. What are, number 2, what are the arguments against product placement? The cons. We can say here, we cannot choose to ignore it. Right. What's the speaker's opinion? He's against. He says, don't. Right. You listen again and you complete what he says. Right. This is just a note for you to pick up the answer from the CD. 3. Work in pairs to discuss here what? Discuss the task. Use the phrases in one here. Phrases here that we have written here. Right? And your own ideas to write a speech about the pros and cons of the proposal. Right? Right. Task. The task, there is too much advertising of violent toys in the media adverts. For these toys should be banned. Right? Discuss. Right. Right. Work in pairs to discuss the task. Here, this is the task. Okay. Now you read it and you write the pros and you write the cons for this proposal. And you have the title for the subject. There is too much advertising of violent, right, toys in the media adverts. For these toys should be banned. His suggestion, this person who has written this, he said, this should be banned. Banned means stopped. Discuss. You write a topic, okay? And after you write this topic, you record yourself reading and send it to your colleagues, right? Exercise 4. Listen to someone giving a speech talking about banning. Banning means stopping the advertising of violent toys to children. Now, your opinion here, after you have written a subject, does your opinion, let's say, coincide, right? Coincide with the speakers who is speaking in the CD? Is it the same as the speaker? Why? If not the same, why not? Okay? You listen to the girl. She is going to give us a speech about the same topic. Listen.
Unit 7. Functional Language. Exercise 4.
People have argued about banning advertising of violent toys on television for some time. Critics of this proposal argue that parents are the decisive factor in their children's behaviour, and that toy companies should be able to sell their products in the same way that other companies do. However, supporters of the ban point out that violent crime is on the increase in most countries, and that children should be protected from the adult world. Some countries, such as Greece and Venezuela, have already banned commercials for violent toys directed at children. But is this just a new form of censorship? Should children not be free to watch whatever they want? Most of us would agree that they should not.
Right. Now, pronunciation, sentence. Yeah, what does it say? Read the opening sentence of a speech, which was, do you think will be stressed about stress? Remember to look for the keywords in the sentence, right? It says here, one of the most subtle forms of modern advertising is product placement in films. Listen how they read the sentence and where is the stress. Listen.
Unit 7. Pronunciation. Exercise B. One of the most subtle forms of modern advertising is product placement in films.
Right. Next page. Final task, giving a speech. So this topic is giving you advice or tips for how to give a speech. You look to a photo and you talk about it, for example, right? Now, exercise 1. Look at the poster, this poster. Look at the poster here, near the road, and answer questions. After you look the poster, you understand it. Now, 1. What message do you think the poster is trying to get across? 2. Who do you think it is directed at? And 3. Did this image make an impact on you? Right? Now, what you do, you take your pen, look at the poster, read the questions, take your pen, write your answers here, right? And then what you do, you read the question and you read the answer and record yourself as well, and then send it to your colleagues by Viber or Google Classroom to give you a review. CD 2. Listen now to a student's speech about the task below. Right? How could it have been better? This task. You are going to give a speech on the proposal, right? Tips for giving a speech. Now, after we listen to the CD, do you think the student here, he followed these tips? Right? Now, the tips, first tip, the advice says what? Give the arguments for and against the proposal. Then include an opening sentence. At the beginning there must be introduction, or what we call opening sentence. Then write a good opening sentence using keywords and use rhetorical sentence to close your speech. Right? And give your speech without reading directly from your notes. Don't look at every word in your piece of paper. What else? Stress the keywords, the important words, you should stress them, and arguments in your speech. Now we listen to the student here giving a task, okay? And I want you to look at these tips and write down notes about the CD. You tell me, he did well, the student here, or he has some mistakes because he didn't follow these steps, for example, right? Listen to the CD and to the speech.
Unit 7. Final task. Exercise 2.
Using shocking images on hoardings and posters has been one of the most controversial innovations in advertising in recent years. Personally, I don't like the image. I think it's very dark and it doesn't get my attention. I think it's a good idea to use shocking images to stop really serious problems in society, like men attacking women, but that's something for adults. I don't think young people have any serious problems, so I'm against the proposal.
Right. Okay. Next page. Vocabulary. A review, Unit 7. 1. Find the odd one, it means the strange word. The odd one out and explain why. First, you find the strange word, right? Find it and write it in the spaces. Take your sheet in your hand, read 3 words or 4 words, and write the strange one. Here, a hoarding, a jingle, a poster. Which one is strange? The one is strange, a jingle, right? Why it's strange? Because these two, we look at them. A hoarding and a poster, we look at them, right? Beside the road. But a jingle, we listen to a jingle. It's a piece of music for advertising. On the radio or on television, we listen to this. But these two, we look at them. That's why. 2. Sorry, as we have done before, you shouldn't listen to my answers unless you work on yourself first. So you switch off the video and work. Right. After that, you listen to the video, right? Okay, switch off the video. 2. An advertiser, sponsor, a consumer. Which one is strange? A consumer. Right? Why? This one because he buys, the buyer, but these two, they sell. Right? 3. A slogan, a classified ad, a pop-up. Which one is it? Strange? Slogan. Right? Why it's different? Because it's short. But classified ad and a pop-up may be longer. Slogan is usually short. Why short? Because we want to make it easy to remember. You can't make a slogan long, because people, they cannot remember it when they see it beside the street when they drive their cars. When they drive their cars, they see it must be short and easy to understand. Why short? Because we want to make it easy to remember. But classified ad in a newspaper or pop-up on a website page on the internet, usually longer than slogan. Right? 2. Write the verb forms of each noun. Here we have nouns. We want to write the verb. Right? Okay. Switch off the video. I'll work on your own. Okay? Switch off the video. Now the correct answers. Number 1. Right. Write the verb. Product, the verb produce. Consumer, the verb is to consume. Advertising, the verb is to advertise. Right? And now, sponsorship, the verb is to sponsor. Sponsor with OR. Okay? 5. Promoter. The verb is to promote. Alright, listening here. 3. Listen to the definitions and choose the correct word. You listen to definition 1 on the CD. What is it about on the CD, number 1? Is it about consumer or flyer, or about jingle or launch or logo or on brand or slogan? Right? You check the meaning for these words, and then listen to the CD and write one of these words here, here, and here. Right. Listen to definition 1 on the CD and then write. Choose from these words. Okay? Listen.
Unit 7. Review. Exercise 3. Definition 1. This is normally a phrase that advertisers use repeatedly so that people associate it with a product. It's the real thing, or I'm loving it, are 2 famous examples. Definition 2.
Okay, sorry. 2 now.
People sometimes give you this type of advertising in the street or at the entrance to the metro.
Definition 3.
Okay.
We use this verb to describe the start of an advertising campaign.
Okay.
Definition 4.
This is a short song or piece of music that accompanies an advert.
Definition 5. This is a person who buys or uses a product.
Alright. Now switch off the video, you listen again, and check your answers. After you finish, you listen to the video again. So definition 1, it was, as I've pointed with you, slogan. Definition 2, it was flyer. Definition 3, launch. Definition 4, jingle. Definition 5, it's consumer, right? Consumer. Pronunciation. 4, write these sounds O or O symbol next to these words, okay? 1 to 5 below according to their pronunciation. Right? You read these words. I want you here to check your Oxford Dictionary. But before you open your Oxford Dictionary, write in your mobile phone, I want you to work on your own first. You read the word and write the sound. This one or this sound in front of the word, right? I want you to work on your own. Read, write. After you finish, check your answers by opening the Oxford Dictionary or any dictionary in your mobile phone that includes phonetic symbols in front of each word in your dictionary, right? And check, does the word include one of these two sounds. Right? Right. Do it now. Next, functional language. 5. Write words from the phrase bank here. The answer, you find it here. Right? For each of the definitions, 1, 2, 3. You read the definition and write what is it about from here. Right? Now switch off the video. You do it in yourself, in your own, work in your own. After you finish, you switch on the video and listen to me. Okay? Now switch off the video. Switch it off. 1. People who don't like something. We call these people critics. Critics. Maybe we find it here. Here. Critics. Critics. Critics and opponents. Opponents. Maybe we find it here. Opponents. So critics and opponents, what does it mean? It means people who don't like something. Okay? 2. People who do like an idea. What do we call them? We call them those in, or supporters. Even supporters. Those in favor of the project. What else? We call them also supporters of the scheme, say. Alright? 3. Something that is liked by some and disliked by others. It means what? Some people, they like it. Other people, they don't like it. What do we call this thing or this topic? Because of some people, they like it. Other people, they don't like it. We call it what? Controversial. Controversial. What is it? You find it here. I think you find it here somewhere. Controversial. One of the most controversial. Right? Controversial topic. Or controversial. Okay? 6. Work in pairs. Choose a topic. You have 1 minute to think of the pros and cons for a topic. Then give a speech to your partner on the topic using these expressions. So think of a topic that you should write about. One of these topics. This is a homework, right? I want you to write about one of these topics. After you write about it, let's say a paragraph about one of these. You read it, you check it. After you check it, read it again and record yourself reading the topic and send it to Google Classroom, to me. It's a homework. One of these topics, like what? You may choose wearing school uniform. Or you choose to write about using a bicycle to travel in your city. Or finishing the school day at 2:30. He means what? In England, instead of staying in a school until 5 o'clock. Right? Or you write about spreading holidays more evenly through the year instead of having a long summer holiday. Instead of having 2 months in summer holiday, right? Let's say the school lasts longer, and every week you give them, for example, students 1 more holiday or 1 more day off or 2 days off, and don't give students summer holiday, right? So you can write one of these titles in Google and search for a topic in Google on the internet, and you read the topic and you take what you want from that topic and write it here, 1 paragraph, for example, and after you check it and you like it, record yourself reading the topic and then send it to Google Classroom as a homework. Send it to me, right? Right. I think that's all. That's all for this unit or for this lecture. We stop here, right? Thank you very much. Thank you. Good luck. And don't forget, if you have any questions, you can send any notes or questions to me using Google Classroom, right? Thank you very much. Goodbye. See you next lecture, inshallah. Thank you. Goodbye.